Yeah. Okay, ready? In 5, 4, 3.
Well, welcome out, everyone. We are excited, Seth and I, to describe some improvements that we've made to the Edge Success System. And we want to show you how things used to be as we have them here.
Yeah, I'll do that. So these are the 4 TerraPads that we used to use to give a class. We had the Nature's Oils for Your Home TerraPad, the Enrollment Kit TerraPad, we had the Wholesale Price List, and then, of course, the Wellness Advocate Agreement. All of these are awesome and, for the most part, still available if you still want to use these. The things we want to just kind of show you, our concerns were that the classes were taking too long, first of all. Right. And people had a hard time keeping the classes under an hour. And
then closing duplication.
Yeah, and then the biggest thing is that people just weren't able to close. Like, they'd do a class and then they wouldn't have people signing up.
And then the other part is the appearance of a lot of material. And so we noticed that not only were people not maybe closing as effectively as they could or avoiding the close altogether, but the customer was having overwhelm or having to process too much information.
Yeah, and that was, I think, the biggest part for us is we realized that if you want to increase the closing rate at a class, if you want to have more people enrolling, then you need to make the decision process more simple and more easy for the person to make a decision because you're not overwhelming them with information.
Right. And so in addressing this, there was a couple of goals that we had in that, and one was to make the presentation flow simpler, and also to divide the buying information from the information that you're trying to portray in the class.
Right. So you're educating the customers on you're educating the people that attend your class on what oils are, what the supplements are, things like that, and then presenting them with one decision at a time before you introduce more concepts to them, like the loyalty rewards program or other things like that.
So in our existing system as it has been, we'd go through the whole class and then we'd roll right into loyalty rewards and cover buying options before we even had agreement.
Right.
And so now,
let me here.
Ready?
Yeah. Okay,
so this is the new class pad, and some of the major features that we did. The information is largely the same. The way you use the pad is largely the same. But what we did is we thought through the oils that you present and the number of oils that you present through lots of feedback that we've gotten. Of course, we've been presenting now for several years, so there's
which is why it was so hard to make a change,
right?
Because we know what we were doing worked.
Right.
This has to be better.
Right. And so one is the flow is simple. It's basically what are oils, why are oils effective, and so this kind of trades out where we used to there used to be kind of an emphasis on its comparison to pharmaceuticals and things like that, and we've come away from that. From that discussion, and we've centered in on specifically what are oils, why are they effective, and 3 ways to use them, and then doTERRA's value proposition. And so these are the key points to giving a quick and concise and effective presentation.
The thing I like about it is it still does the same things we did before, in that we teach a concept and we let the oil drive the point home. So the oil is still the salesman in the presentation. The other thing I really like is that we're also incorporating like the On Guard toothpaste.
Right, Deep Blue Rub for some in explaining topical application and internal use. We had gotten lots of feedback that the toothpaste, for example, is a great way to experience or understand or comprehend how oils could be used effectively internally.
Right, and additionally, we also weren't overwhelming them with too many oils. So on previous TerraPads, even from back when we first started, we were having people put a drop of 13 oils all over them, and by the time they got done, they're like, they either felt high.
I remember my brother. I whipped out the thing and I started opening oil after oil after oil, and pretty soon he looks up and he goes, "Does anyone else feel drunk?"
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, we got the oil vapor going here."
But with this, the thing that's cool is that we're really covering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 oils on the front, as opposed to 9 or 10.
Right.
And even if you spent 5 minutes with each oil, explaining the concept, experiencing the oil in the class, you're still 30 minutes on the front side of this, which should cut the presentation down a lot.
Right. Should make it really easy to duplicate, easy information, easy presentation, smooth flow.
And then the thing I'm
back.
most excited about is the back here, because it makes the #1 loyalty rewards product the pinnacle of the presentation and not the afterthought.
Right.
So this is the explanation of why Lifelong Vitality is
Right.
the best supplement line in the world based upon
Right.
what Dr. Schmidt taught us.
Right, and so it comes in, and the basic conversation here is if you buy just common vitamins, those are probably not providing enough for you. Or if you go to the extreme end and buy super vitamins, for example, then you're probably overloading your body, most likely. And then, but DoTerra has taken Lifelong Vitality and optimized it, and so that brings that value proposition in, and then you go right into how you can customize it, which of course lends itself to why you would be on loyalty rewards, because you can customize it based on supporting your joints, based on supporting your cellular energy, or based on supporting your digestive system. And so it lends itself to a great conversation. And then you're coming right down into here and you're talking about how essential oils can impact or do for the person. So that changes the nature of the conversation.
The health pyramid is discussed, so we're
Right.
making sure they understand the difference between lifestyle and health, and healthcare and things like that.
Right.
And then
the creme.
And
de la
then-
creme.
yeah, so if you can imagine you're doing this class and then you're explaining the products, the oils, and the supplements in that detail, and then you get here and it says, would you like to explore your options to purchase doTERRA products? That's the one question.
Right.
We've taught you all of this. Now, do you want to explore your purchasing options? Right. And if they say yes, if they say no, okay, great. Right. Because in previous classes, whether they did or didn't, we were explaining the loyalty rewards program. We were explaining all of the kits to people who maybe weren't even interested at all.
Right.
So this is just taking it down to the base question, which is, do you want to explore these purchasing
Right.
options?
The reality is, if they've come to your presentation or agreed to learn from you, they've already are going to say yes.
Right.
So it's not really a thing. But the difference is now we've given the prospect permission. Or
They've given you permission.
They've given us permission to move forward. In other words, we put the power back in their shoes, so that when you do show the information, you now have agreement.
Right. So they say, yes, I want to see the options. Now we go into
And then
the...
Buyer's Guide. This is a document that we have dreamed about for a long, long time, because many people have had difficulty being in the closing process. And so we wanted to create a document that could do the closing on its own. If the wellness advocate didn't know anything, if they could just get a yes, if they can ask that question and at least get a yes, and then hand the person this, then
it's obviously better if you're there to walk them through.
Right.
But if the person, this could actually walk a person all the way through closing.
Right. And it walks the person through the closing, and it helps train the wellness advocate so that they learn the flow of the closing. And then when you get really experienced, of course, then you can sit down and walk your prospect through.
So let's just go through the logical flow of this, because we just explained the oils and and Lifelong Vitality and such. Then we say, okay, would you like to explore your purchasing options? The person says yes. They've now given me permission.
Right.
So then
Now,
you to go here.
We come to the first question on the buyer's guide, which is right on the front, and that is, do you want the oils at retail?
Yeah. How would you like to buy product?
Right. How would you like to buy the product? Do you want to buy it retail, or do you want to save 25% on all your orders?
Right. And so a person, okay, so do I want to spend retail or wholesale?
Right. So do I want to pay full price, or do I want 25% off? So this is a very difficult decision.
Yes. But they say yes, they want to do wholesale. If they said retail, you could show them the wholesale price list, but right there, most of them are going to say, I want the discount.
Right. And then next, they come into step 2. Step 2 makes it really easy. Choose an enrollment kit. So to join or create the wholesale account, they simply have to go through all of their options on various ways that they can start. Now you'll notice that we made the $35 the last option.
Right. So it starts with the large kits, ends with the smaller kits, so you're taking them through that progress.
Right.
And the other thing that's cool is that all they're saying is I wanted to be wholesale, and you go, okay, well, which kit do you want to get? This is how you become a wholesale member.
Right.
and you can pick a kit or spend $35.
Right. And before we used to say, well, a wholesale membership account is $35. And then we would say, or you can select a kit and get your membership for free. But again, that just adds so much information that the prospect has to process. And so now we're just saying, do you want it wholesale, retail or wholesale? They say wholesale. We say to get a wholesale account, you just select a starting place. And that starting place, one of them could be a $35 option with no oils.
Or a diamond kit. It doesn't really matter. They can choose.
Right. And so now it's just, well, select my option instead of here's one way or here's the other.
Right.
And then on step 3, we ask a critical business question.
Yeah, it just shows it gives just a taste of the compensation plan. It explains the power of 3 and the unilevel earning potential, just to give them, so a person could look at this and say, oh wow, I could make $50 or $250, or I could make $32,000 per month.
Right.
And so it gives it's meeting the need of whoever you're dealing with.
Right. And this also sets it up because doTERRA, of course, is going to move into a new wellness or a
Wholesale
customer account, and instead of the preferred member option. And so this document sets the stage for that. And so now you're coming in here, choose customer or wellness advocate option. And so basically they're seeing right away that they don't have to be involved with the business if they don't want to. If they want to be a customer, it's basically asking this question, but it's asking them if they have an interest. Like would you like to have the option to create an income with doTERRA now or into the future? And it's just yes, no, customer only, maybe, or host a class.
The thing I love about this is that the language is already provided for the new wellness advocate.
Right.
So all you have to do is read it. So if you go here and say, okay, step 3, these are just steps. It's okay. First, you need to choose customer or wellness advocate.
Right.
And if you say, okay, would you like to have the option to create an income with doTERRA now or in the future? If the person says now, no, I don't. Okay, now you know.
Right.
But what if the person says yes or maybe? Or what if they're willing to host a class? I mean, it gives you a good insight into who you're working with. And if they do select those options, then you have the option of enrolling them as a wellness advocate.
Right. And think about this. But in our process, we have the 3 doors of openness, which is, are you open to learn? Are you open to use? And are you open to share? And so when you come across this is moving the doors of openness right up into the initial interaction, which of course, if they check yes here, that's going to lead to a business overview and a more detailed thing. But now you know, or you get that conversation, or you at least create the knowledge that there is income to be made right up into when you're discovering what does it mean to be a doTERRA member.
Now the 4th step is select products for your loyalty rewards program, and it actually goes over what we used to go over in the class. We were presenting them with this information before they've even decided if they wanted to move forward.
Right.
So all we're saying is okay, do you want to look at your purchasing options? Yes. Okay, do you want to do wholesale or retail? Wholesale. Okay, which kit do you want? This one. Do you want to participate in with money making options now or in the future? Maybe.
Yeah.
And this is the loyalty rewards program. Do you want to participate in it?
Right.
Yes. And if they do, there's the wholesale price list, and we can explain.
Right. And we have the customization options here. So they've been through that in the class.
Yep. The loyalty rewards, the lifelong vitality options are there, right. And then they can go through the entire wholesale price list if they want to add anything to their loyalty rewards order. And then step 5 is just filling the information.
Right.
So it's like, for example, this says, which enrollment kit did you choose? Everything,
right? And then
everything's already been done. So when they get here, it
right,
doesn't feel like they're making more decisions. It's just summarizing what they've already decided.
Right, and then it re-emphasizes the benefits that they receive by considering larger kits. And the other thing we've done with this is we've drastically simplified the information that's presented on this form.
Made it as easy as it possibly can be. And then the cool thing is when they filled this out, you can tear this off. It's perforated, so you can tear off this information, keep it so you can enroll the wellness advocate, and then leave them with this, so they can go home with everything there. So honestly, what it's done is it makes it so easy for people to logically make one decision at a time instead of overwhelming them with so much information that they just don't make any decisions at all.
Right. And by the way, just going around, like I've gone all over the place packing my material around, and now I've been so excited to have a few buyer's guides with me and a class tear sheet. and
Instead of four TerraPads.
right, instead of the 4 TerraPads in my bag. And so I've been really excited about that, because the other thing that I noticed as we went around, that with the tear sheets, when you were automatically giving everyone a tear sheet without agreement, that a lot of those tear sheets are ending up on people's chairs, and
Unused,
they're unused or not going with them out the door. And so now the only sheet that you have out to everyone is the class pad. And then this one is only going out if you have agreement. And
Right.
if you have
the person says yes, I want to look at those options.
Right. And with agreement, your chances of closing should go up. So we're anticipating that this will have a dramatic impact on your ability to duplicate yourself, get your team presenting in an efficient class model, and then getting agreement and learning how to close effectively.
The thing is I'm not even anticipating. I know.
Right,
When
right.
we sit down with people and we go through this, it's like, oh my gosh, where has this been our entire life?
Right. I've already tested this out a little bit with our initial documents and stuff, and the reaction from the prospects is amazing. Like the minute I pull out, would you like to explore your now we're in the buying conversation. I mean, they're just like, I want to learn how.
And the other thing I want to just end on is that even if you spent 5 minutes per oil, per topic, 15 minutes on the loyalty rewards program, the lifelong vitality and the health pyramid, 15 minutes there, and spent another 15 minutes going through this, that's an hour.
Right.
You've got your entire process in 1 hour.
Right. Because a lot of people, if you go over an hour, you're probably losing people or not even giving them the option to buy.
Yeah, we think you guys are going to kill this. We hope you like it.